Hey, I'm Ladyhawke. I'm going to give you a quick run through of my self-titled debut album. Track 1 is called Magic. That song I wrote all about sort of being alone. I wrote it when I first moved to London. I didn't really know anyone, and I was sort of, it was like a fantasy epic kind of thing, you know, imagining that you actually had someone you could talk to, which I didn't. So I was imagining kind of trying to coax somebody over to be with me, and yeah, it's a kind of a love song, but kind of a pining song. Track 2 is called Manipulating Woman, and it's kind of about, okay, you know, when you have like a group of friends and all of a sudden someone new comes into the group of friends, and you know, you suspect that they're up to something, maybe up to no good, and they're manipulating everyone in the group of friends, but you're the only one that can see it, and you go to everyone, she doesn't seem right to me, there's something kind of I smell a rat, and everyone's like, nah, she's cool, and then one by one she like screws over everyone, and they come running to you going, she was mean after all, and I'm like, yeah, well, I told you, but you didn't listen to me. So that's what that song's about. Track 3 is called My Delirium. I wrote that after 3 or 4 nights of no sleep. I had jet lag. It was my first ever experience in the UK. I just got off the plane for the very first time over a year and a half ago now, and I was going out of my mind. I couldn't sleep. I had no appetite. I felt awful, and I was just missing all my friends, and so I kind of wrote a song about all the craziness that was going on in my head at that time. Track 4 is called Better Than Sunday, and it's sort of about, it's about a youthful feeling, like, you know, kind of being happy that you're young and you're naive, and knowing that you're young and naive, and when people always say to you, oh, you know, I'm older and wiser, you'll kind of say, well, I'd rather be younger than older and wiser, you know. That's kind of my story with that song. I just wanted it to be about, you know, sticking it to a certain person and saying I'd rather be younger than older and wiser. So, track 5 is called Another Runaway. That was sort of a synthy epic, like of guitar and synth. It's a real pop song, that one. It's one of my favourites on the album. It's just got a good feeling about it, and it's sort of about being with somebody who's more about kind of a sceney person who doesn't really care about you or anything. They kind of just want to show everyone up, and you know, a bit of an arrogant person. So that's just sort of a song about that, and just basically me saying, you know what, I don't care. Track 6 is Love Don't Live Here, and it's sort of a breakup song. It's about wanting to be with somebody and they just don't love you anymore, and you're wondering what you've done wrong, and you know, you realise that there's no love anymore, and you want there to be, and you're kind of wondering what happened. And yeah, the music was sort of very guitar based, this one in particular, with some like wood bells on synth. Like, it's quite low in the mix, but that kind of, I don't know, that one's the most, I think that's, out of all my songs on the album, that one's quite Fleetwood Macy and quite you know, slow, and has quite an epic chorus, and funnily enough, the chorus doesn't actually have any lyrics, it's just music. Yeah. Track 7 is Back of the Van. There's a song I wrote 3 years ago with a friend of mine in Sydney. It's the oldest track on the album, and it's one I hold closest to my heart. I sort of wrote it in the summertime, and just, I don't know, it has a good feeling about it. It's about young love, you know. The music part of it's very synth based, as well as most of the tracks are, but yeah, there was a lot of attention paid to guitar and synth at this one, and I play drums on this track as well, so yeah. Track number 8 is Paris is Burning. That song I wrote after a long weekend in Paris. I'd never been to Paris in my life. This was about a year and a half ago, and I spent a long weekend there, had a blast, had heaps of fun, you know, drank lots of champagne, actually from the district of Champagne. Yeah, just went to lots of gigs and met lots of people, and it made a lasting impression on me, and I kind of wanted to write a song that sort of showed that, and had a distinctive drum beat, almost like what, you know, Dusk did, which was a Fleetwood Mac track. So yeah. Track number 9 is called Professional Suicide. I wrote that track in LA. It's got a bit of a Gary Newman feel about it. That's about being really angry at somebody who has been bitching about you behind your back, and they think they're better than you, and then it eventually comes back, and you know, comes back to you, and you sort of like, oh, I thought this person was good, but they were bitching about me behind my back. So that's sort of a song sticking it to somebody who was mean to me once. Track 10 is called Dusk Till Dawn. I wrote that a year ago in Shoreditch also, with a guy called Pascal Gabriel. That's about things that go bump in the night. It's got kind of a funky guitar riff to it. Just a fun song, that one. I just wanted it to be fun. It's got a party vibe. Yeah, just ghosts, you know, creaks and noises you hear in your bedroom at night and you don't know what they are. So. Track number 11 is called Oh My. That's very, I don't know, it's a mixture between Fleetwood Mac and some kind of 90s rhythmic-y vibe. I don't know, like, it's got a lot of harmonies, like a lot of layers of vocals, and it's about knowing a friend and wanting them to try. Like, you see how kind of low they are and how sad they are, and you really want them to try, but nothing you do, nothing you say will make anything change. So that's what that song's about. Track number 12 is called Crazy World. That was kind of like my cheesy, not that all my songs aren't cheesy, but this one was sort of like my cheesy perspective of, you know, being an observer, and my attempt at a really large sounding song, you know, really sort of thoughtful and airy, and it's just about sort of walking down the street and seeing a homeless person like all by themselves, and I don't know, it's just kind of, I guess it's a song about the world and questioning the world and questioning yourself and what your place is in the world. It sounds kind of deep, it isn't really, but yeah, a lot of guitar and drums and synth on that track as well. So the last track on the album is called Morning Dreams. That song is one of my favourites on the record. It's also one of the slowest. It's got kind of a yacht rock kind of Hall & Oates vibe about it. You know, fair light synth. It's, you know, it's a love song. It's about falling asleep and waking up with somebody you love, but then, you know, obviously a consequence of being a musician, you tour a lot, and so it's also about when you're away on tour pining for the person you love. And yeah, it's just a simple love song. There's not much to it apart from that. So that was my album. I hope you like it. See you soon.